Hello YouTube! One of my most favorite things to do is to listen to recordings of legendary jazz guitar player Django Reinhardt.
Django Reinhardt.
I have noticed that there are some special techniques that he used over and over again. I have already made a video from this topic, but Django's playing, it's an endless source of inspiration. So here I will show you 5 more techniques that he used and that you can learn and that you can use in your own playing. Let's start. Wait, what? Wasn't this supposed to be a video about Django?
Ah, yeah!
Technique number 1. Slide and stop on another string. Django was doing this way before Chuck Berry, who might have heard it from him. Well, I haven't done my research about did other players use this technique before Django. However, he was doing it really creatively with his own touch. Just listen to these examples. This is one of my favorite techniques. It goes like this. So basically you slide your finger and then you pick the same note on one string higher. So if you slide here on B string, then you land here on E string. So you can do it on any note. You can do it on different strings, although I think it's the easiest to do it on B string and E string. But you can do it on from G to B string, or you can do it here from E string to A string. Well, you get the point. You can use any string. And other things Django is doing, he's adding stuff. And oftentimes he just stays on one string and does that kind of effect. And then he might add something like. Listen to these examples where he is moving it around. So you can do stuff like. It's really fun, it's pretty easy to throw it in your solos and start rocking around like Django. Next technique is actually pretty close to this one. Technique number 2. 2-string unisono. Unisono simply means that the same note is played by 2 or more voices together. In this case, the same note is played on 2 different strings. Maybe the most famous example of Django playing this is from his solo on a tune called I'll See You in My Dreams. This is really cool technique that takes advantage of how guitar works. In guitar fretboard, you can play the same note on multiple locations. You can play E here, You can play it here. You can play it here. You can play it here. Same note. How many times? I already lost the count. And each one of them sounds slightly different for multiple reasons. The tuning is a bit different, and well, the string chords is different. And when you play two of these together, you got this really nice resonating sound. This is easiest to do on open strings, so like something like that. You don't have to use the open strings, you can also do something like you can also change the note to do something like that's like really Django's thing to do. I think it's the small difference in the harmonic series of the notes that clash together and create this special effect. And speaking of harmonics, now it's time for technique number 3. Technique number 3, harmonics. Django really utilized this technique. He used it to play soft melodies on songs like Nuage. Basically, he used two techniques to create these harmonics. The examples you heard before, he was using a technique called artificial harmonics. He was also using a lot of technique called natural harmonics. Here are a few examples of that. The natural harmonics are easier to play, so let's start with those. The easiest place to find them is on 12th fret of the guitar. You have to put your finger over this metal fret, not between like usually, and just touch it softly, and then pluck the string. Other place to find these are 5th fret, 7th fret. These can be used to tune your guitar. You pluck the 5th fret on lower string and then the 7th fret on next string, and those should be the same tone. Doesn't work here because it's different interval. But here again. One of my favorite ways to use these are to create chords. You can create a really beautiful ending for E minor. That's a classic. You have to know that one. Yeah, you can create like a G. Stuff like that. Here's a really cool example of Django using these. You can also find natural harmonics on upper octaves. These are a bit harder to find. I don't really use them, but you can hear someone like Birelli Lagren using them really beautifully. But those are fun. You can also try playing melodies with these. But you only have few notes, that's really limited. And that's when the artificial harmonics come in. These are called artificials because they are based on the same phenomena as natural harmonics. I don't want to go too deep into physics right now because I don't really know the physics. But well, when you press here, like any fret, let's take the first fret. And then we take the octave higher, so F here. And I'm pressing with my index finger and picking with my pick. And you have to press softly. And you can create harmonics everywhere. Here's the third fret. With this technique you can play any melody. The way I like to practice this is I take a chord shape here, and the way I visualize the fretboard is after the 12th fret, this part basically repeats. So guitar is also repeating, like piano. This part repeats here. So you can just take the shape that you are comfortable with. Let's take the D, and then you can only... And also when you are playing melodies, not just chord shapes, it's easier to think of these as like identical but on different octaves. So if you move your finger here 2 frets, you know you have to move 2 frets here as well. So try to get them synchronized. And one thing you can also do, you can do like chords. Like that. You can do the chords the same way you did with the natural harmonics. You have to swipe your finger really softly and pluck it in the same time. One more negative side about this technique, besides being hard to do, is that it's really soft sounding. So it's hard to get it heard in a jam session. And if you are playing rhythm and you see or hear the soloist doing something like this, then bring your rhythm down so it can be heard, because it's really soft, it's beautiful, it's unique sound, it's really beautiful. So lower down your volume so the music can be heard. Okay, let's get to the next technique in 5, 4, 3, 2. Technique number 4, sudden dissonances. This is classic Django. He sure knew how to wake up the listeners, how to shake up things, to spice things up. Listen to these examples. Here I will show you a few ways I like to do it, inspired by Django. This is the classic one. The 4th fret and the open string. Also, it's fun to play something simple like. The other thing you can do is it's like the minor 9th interval, flat 9. And you can do something like, just watch my other video for that. But yeah, I like also do a little bend there. And again, it's easiest to do on these strings, but you can do it on any string. Just be creative with these and insert these dissonances into places where people accept them the least. Okay, now it's time for 5th and final technique for this video. Technique number 5. Sweep picking. Sweep picking is one of the most impressive sounding techniques you can do on a guitar. Django was using this a lot back in his days, and he was leading the way for other guitarists after him. Nowadays, I've noticed that it's one of the most desired techniques for young guitarists that they want to learn. I think nowadays many people overuse this technique. Django was using it with style. Usually he used this technique to create bursts of fast notes to give his lines some extra flashiness. This technique is also quite simple. You just pluck your strings down. Then you add your left hand. The easiest way is just to press multiple notes with one finger. One shape that Django was using a lot was this one. Like. That's really useful shape. It's basically just a major triad. This A major chord, but the same form, and then you add the 3rd, and here the 5th, and the same can be also transformed into minor. This sweep picking technique is also good for playing chord stuff like this. Then you have to use the upstroke also. One classic way of using this technique is to use it with diminished chords. And here we have the 5 techniques. As you can see, Django was way ahead of his time. I don't think the guitar would be the same instrument without his creativity. Every time I listen to his recordings, I find something new. I get inspired. I want to practice, I want to learn. And as well, every time I'm listening to him playing, I feel like I'm learning just by listening. And I think every guitarist that wants to learn how to play should listen to Django. I have made a YouTube playlist from all the songs I used as an example in this video. If you want to have a ear training exercise, you can go out for a walk and just listen some Django and try to pick up the techniques that you just learned here in this video. It's one way of practicing your ear, and it's really nice music. I will put the playlist here in the description of this video, and you can also find it from my channel. I hope you found this video helpful or entertaining. If you want to support me, you can leave a comment here, maybe give this video a like, maybe even subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be huge. I would appreciate that. I also have another video like this where I go over 5 techniques used by Django. I will put the video in the end of this video, so it's easy for you to find it. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.